Hello, this is Summer. Welcome to another video on Evony. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Tavern. So, Tavern generals are known as cheap generals with both the positive and negative meanings that comes with that, but especially for free-to-play or low coiners, they can be very valuable, especially for certain cases, for duty generals and for Senate. Uh, they are very good in cases, but getting them involves this process of doing this refresh many times until you get the generals that you're looking for. And this is quite boring, which is one reason that there is this theory that maybe doing this in different days of the week makes a difference. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I'm going to make another video on that. But before getting to that, we need to really understand, okay, what is the chance of getting good generals from this? Because Evony, as always, gives you some information, but it's, in multiple layers. That's really understanding what is the actual chance of getting generals is not that easy. It's like a puzzle you need to piece together. Tells us this information that this depends on the level of your tavern. So if you upgrade your tavern, the chances of getting better generals goes up. Doesn't tell you if these probabilities are for one slot of these 6 generals that you get each time, or is it for one refresh. And then if you look at these portraits, and it gives you these refresh probabilities, but again, not much information. What does this actually mean? What is this 0.13 out of what? And these ones don't change if you upgrade your tavern, so it really doesn't make sense. So I tried to make sense of these. So these are the same values as you saw. It's at level 35. So these are the chances of getting a certain quality of general in each slot when you refresh that. The reason I say it's one slot, not the whole refresh, is because otherwise the values would be too low and it doesn't make sense. So for getting a legendary, it's around 5%. And then if it is a legendary general, there is this much chance that it is also historic. So 1 out of 3 legendary generals that you get at this level are historic. So if you multiply these two, you get this value, which is, so in each slot of those 6, there is 1.56% chance that you get a legendary historic general and 0.5% chance you get an epic historic. So in each refresh, there's 6 times of that chance of getting a general of this quality, historic, epic, historic. But then what about those specific generals that we had the chances for? So what I did was I recorded all of those values here. And I was assuming maybe that if you sum those up is 100%, so then you can just, multiply that last number to the percentage and get the final chance, but that's not the case. In total, the chances that are listed in those is around 10% for each type, for the legendary, historic, and epic historic, but that doesn't make sense. But if you look more closely, you see that all the legendaries have the same chance. There are all these higher value of 0.38 in those portraits. So they have the same chance. And the epic ones have 2 types, basically, putting aside all of those that are unavailable. They are the ones that I call here like common, and these are the rarer ones, the smaller sets that have a lower probability. So my understanding of this is that these should basically work as weights. So if you get an epic legendary, there are 25 of them and all of them have the same chance. It means assuming you are getting a legendary historic, each of them should have 4% chance of appearing. And the same idea, using these as weights, or basically normalizing the probabilities for epic historics, gives us these 2 values. So basically, there are these 3 chances that need to be applied after we get these numbers. So for each specific general, what I did, and I will give you the link in the description to get this file. You can look at the certain generals, but I don't think you really need to. There are basically 3 types. I will show you the summary later. But for example, for Joan of Arc, this is the final chance in each refresh of getting her. And what this means is that on average, every 268 refreshes, you will get 1. And translating that into gems, each time 50 gems, it's around 13,000 gems. But again, this includes, this is chance-based. And if you've seen my previous videos, this can make the range of possibilities quite big. So actually, instead of this, so this is just the average value. In reality, it can range somewhere between this. This is the 90% confidence interval. So you will need probably somewhere between as little as 14 or as many as 800 refreshes to get 1. But the good thing is that you're probably not looking for this only one this general. In the process of getting the one that you're really looking for, you can get many other generals, or at least a few of them that you also want. So as you can see, for these rarer ones, these numbers go quite a bit higher, right? You need more than 2,000 refreshes on average to get 1 Nero. So this is the summary of those, but let's go back to these upgrading questions. So you can see the chances of getting better generals increases when you upgrade the Tavern, but that increase is not really much. You say the biggest increase is actually for rare, and you don't really want these anyway. So all of these 3 count as the same, I would say. These are just the only values that matter to you. And they don't increase as much. And if we translate those into these averages and ranges to get a better picture, you see that, okay, you go for these rare epic historics from this value, the exact value is up here, to this value. It's not a big increase. And for this is the average number of refreshes you would need. You go from around 6,000 to less than 4,000. This might be a big value added for you. I would say the main benefit is not really the gems that you would need to spend. It's more about the mental cost of having to do these refreshes so many times and the time that you have to invest in it. So to get 1 copy, these are the ranges, the 90% confidence interval. So for epic historic, the rare ones, it ranges from 300 to 17,000. But if you upgrade from 30 to 40, it goes 195 to 11,000. And this is that translated into the number of gems that you would need. I don't see a decrease big enough to really justify the amount of resources you need for these upgrades, but that's up to you to decide. For getting 5 copies, you can see it starts to add value. So from a maximum of 2.7 million gems, it goes down to 1.7. But again, given that these are all chance related, you never know where within this range you're gonna fall. So, but again, that's a decision that hopefully this can help you make more informed. That's it for this video. In the next one, I'm going to cover whether it changes in different days of the week or not. But until then, leave any comments that you have if you want me to look at certain things. And until the next video.